have been 9 years old when Pienaar lifted the World Cup in 1995. Is that image of Siya Kolisi, you know, lifting the World Cup big, or if not bigger than that?
Oh, it's bigger. And I don't want to say it like I remember I spoke to someone the other day, and obviously I was 9 years old. I was excited for the World Cup. I was rugby mad. I was always rugby mad. My dad went to the first game, South Africa, Australia in Newlands. He went to watch the game. I wanted to go with. I was crying, couldn't go with, and then obviously got excited. But the one thing that stood out for me in that '95 World Cup is obviously when one of the wingers got injured and Chester Williams got drafted in. And suddenly you can relate to someone. Oh, there's someone that actually looks like you.
Yeah.
Even though he's a winger, but he was with my school. Chester was there. He was in the army back then. My dad was in the army, so he came and had a little talk with my school. But there's someone that you can really get excited about, and that's the type of impact it has to other people of color as well in South Africa, that you can actually relate a bit to that, to that person, and that's what Siya kind of did. And a lot of other players in the Springbok team. But I think that's what Siya kind of did, to see someone that's a captain inspiring his teammates, and he will inspire so many other people, kids of color, of any color, but especially the people in the townships. And he's just got a great story, and I think people that's in the same situation that can take some confidence from that and aspire to be like him.
Yeah, and of course, the whole world really is indulged in the Black Lives Matter movement. And, you know, you have sports stars all over the world pushing for equality and whatnot. Firstly, what have you made of the campaign?
Yes, without being very controversial, like a lot of people has asked me what's my opinion about it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movement. I think it's wrong what happened and how it came about. At the same time, I think there's a lot of things that a small majority of people has done that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And in terms of looting and looking for equality, certainly the UK has given me an opportunity in a life and my family that I'm very thankful of, and just a lot of that people is white. So and the one thing people shouldn't forget is sport, especially now what line of work is, you don't see color. Yeah, there might be a very small incident that does happen in terms of inequality and maybe some jokes that's not on and stuff like that I know has happened, but that's very small. You need to talk about it, you need to bring it up. But in saying that, and I'm always being like that, I look at the good that the game has done, how it's unified a country from black, and most probably the country that's the most divided in a short period of time, 20 years time, how a sport like rugby has united them. So, and the one thing the pandemic has done is it's brought the best out of people, and it's worse that it brought the good out of people. And I would like to see the good in people. There's so many people that's gone out there that's helped people regardless of color. And I think our sport should just remember it. Speak up if something's wrong. But at the same time, just there's a lot of people we shouldn't let other people divide us, and especially in our rugby, it stands for so much good and so much unity. So no.
And you personally, have you received any racial abuse since coming over to play in the UK, or have witnessed it?
There was one or two instances, and I think the one thing that came out of this is you are told, just forget about it, get on with it, don't let it distract you. And that's just anything. People, don't even, not just racial prejudice, anything. You look at your hair, you know what I mean? You just, as a rugby player, you are taught, just brush it off, don't talk about it, just get on with it. And there's certainly been one or two times it happened, and like I said, you crack on with it, and you don't worry about it. But at the same time, I think it's a great platform at the moment. It's a great movement where people do speak up, and it's right to speak up and educate myself. I've educated myself about the whole subject, educate each other, but at the same time, let's look at how can I say, how it can unify us as well. So, and at the same time, when there's a different movement coming up, support that. If you, I know a lot of people in South Africa. I've got a lot of friends that's farmers, for instance, and there's a lot of farm murders going on like that. And I would love to see a lot of black people support that as well, because it's majority white people. And at the same, it's different movements, but let's support each other. If there's a movement go on, just don't hijack it. And there will always be a small majority that somehow dirty this whole movement. But let's look at how we can support each other and make it more bearable and united. Yeah.